Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today's share is for Craft Plus challenges, and it is the November challenge. Yep, you heard me correctly. I said November. November 2018 is here already, which means December is next month, which means Christmas and all those fun things. So anyway, the inspiration piece for this month is Mosaic. I showed you that I have stuck down my cut file, one of Gwen's, on my Kraft cardstock background. Now, when I saw this cut file, I immediately went, oh wow, that really, like, to me, it makes me think of the Mosaic, the tiles, the squares, all pieced together to make a pattern. But I didn't want anything that was precise and exactly even, so this fit really well because it's a bit more random. What I did do though, and I showed you before, was the inside bits. Before I stuck this part of the file onto my Kraft cardstock, I used this cut file as like the template, and I stuck all the inside bits onto a piece of white cardstock. And I will use that for another layout. So then I stuck down this cut file on here. I worked out what photo I was using, which I showed you right in the beginning, and it was my big boy back when he was somewhat smaller than what he is now. We had one of those big giant Mr. Potato Head potatoes with all the extra bits inside, and he used to love that thing. But he walked up to me one day with the teeth in his mouth, and it was hilarious. And I was like, I've got to scrap that, and we've got our own little potato head here. So I decided I was going to add a little bit of something to the background. I didn't want to go crazy, and I'm using two Distress Oxide colours here. One is Spice Marmalade and the other is I can't remember the name of it. If you really want to know, ask and I will find out for you. That pattern paper that I've used to cut the cut file is one of the Vicky Bruton All the Good Things papers as well. It's the one with all the beautiful watercolour on it. So I applied gesso behind where my photo was going, added some colour using the Distress Oxides and the smushing technique, and I'm just going in with some stamping. This is a Prima stamp, and it's got the alphabet in it, like in a typewriter font, and I really like it. So I'm just using my VersaFine black ink to put that on. And then I decided that the black was too harsh against everything else, so I've gone back in again with the Distress Oxides just to make that stamping fade a little bit more into the background. Decided I wanted some big splats, so I've just mixed up some more of that oxide using a paintbrush and squeezing the bristles. You'll see that those big splats are not very obvious by the time this layout's complete, but that's okay. I did have buckling on my page, so that's what I've used the washi there for, to try to get that splat not to just mush into everything else. I've left that overnight to dry, and then I've come back and I want some extra layers behind my photo. I'm starting with this piece. Now, if you've watched any of my recent videos, you would have seen how I created this again with my Distress Oxides. And I ended up using the cut file instead of this page. I figured I will at some point use a rainbow frame on a page somewhere, so I did gut the center of that cardstock, and I'm going with the blues and the greens as contrast to that orange. I have just cut a piece and I'm going to apply. I've cut it and then torn it, and I'm just going to apply a bit to this side, a bit to that side, and just have a few messy layers. And I like the contrast that that gives. Scribbling down the date before I cover it up. I'm going to distress the edges with my edge distressing tool. This is one of my all-time favourite papers. It is a Dear Lizzie paper, and it says all over it, "Love you to the stars and back." I may have bought a whole package of just this one paper. I have kept like every scrap and skerrick of it that I've got as well, because I can't waste any of it. And so I just made sure when I laid that you could read the sentiment at the top and at the bottom. This is another one of the Vicky Booten All the Good Things papers. It's just that yellow, and I'm just adding a little bit to the left-hand side, messing up my layers, adding some cardboard behind my photo. This layout, once I came up with the design, came together really quickly for the most part. I'm again using my favourite stickers of all time ever. These are the navy blue ones, and I don't think I make you watch me put the whole title down, but you can see I've just run the part of the title vertically. It says Our Own Little, and then these stickers I'm writing Potato Head. I'm marking on my background where my photo is sitting, because I know that I'm going to stick my title down and then add a few more things. I was going to add some stitching because I knew I wanted to stitch down that title. Chipboard stickers notoriously do not stick. So I've got a tab where I keep all of my little embellishments from Australian companies. So all my Delicious Scraps stuff is in there. What else have I got in there? Flutterby Designs is in there. It's like all the little ephemera bits and pieces and tags and journal spots and all those fun bits and pieces. So I pulled that out looking for colours that will work with this page. I started with this yellow circle journaling thing, and then found, I'm pretty sure I found another one in a better yellow. Or have I already? Yes. The one in this package, the yellow was a bit of a better match. So I swap it out for this one. Do try both of them in there. And I'm going to apologise. You don't actually see the whole of my process here. I end up pulling the whole box out and going through it piece by piece. And I got to a point where I was just like, no one wants to watch this. I'm just going to turn the camera off. And then I forgot to turn it back on. But I'm going to add a couple of these little tabs. I think that one says memories or something to that effect. This blue was another really good match. I took it away, but I'm pretty sure that's what ended up going there. So this is the tub that I've got all of those kits and stuff in. Oh, my Rainbow Splendor stuff is in there as well. I've got stuff from Studio 1440. Is that what they used to be called? So yeah, I've got a ton of stuff in here. I'm actually contemplating pulling it all out of the bags, especially these little bits and pieces, so that it's easier to go through, so I'm not having to open up bags to go into things to see what's in there. But anyway, so you can see I'm just going through all of the bits and pieces. I end up finding a couple more bits that I add to the top and the bottom. I add my journal into that circle journaling tab and the date. I do a little bit of machine stitching with black thread. And I call my page done. So make sure you head over to the Craft Plus blog to load up your challenge, your take on the Mosaic challenge. And I hope that you enjoyed my video. Thank you ever so much for stopping by. Welcome to all my new subbies, and a big thank you for all of your likes, comments, your subscriptions. I'm nearly at 1,000. So that's a little goal I set for myself for the end of the year. So please help a girl along. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.